It is literally my favorite time of the year. We are 1 week away from the Daytona 24-hour of 2025. We have found a fantastic setup. I'm going to go over it with you today. Just go over the lap, what it takes. In a session where everyone did the best lap, was like 44.0. We managed to get a monstrous 43.2 with these weather conditions. It's insane. But let's dive into these two particular laps and what it takes. As you get to turn one, you start the straight line, brake. You're going to brake quite heavy, but what you want to do is you want to put yourself as much as possible onto the right-hand side. Everybody takes different styles going through here. Personally, this is my favorite way of tackling this corner. Quite tight. Open the car up. Flat through here. Now, you'll notice this year that the curbs are unforgiving. It really unsettles the car, especially the Porsche. Not sure with the others, but we're finding great balance, great tire wear, great fuel economy with this particular car, and so we will be sticking at the moment, based on the BOP, we'll be sticking with this particular vehicle. Heading into turn number two, you want to again go very tight and then straight line the car. I like to get out of there in first. I see a lot of videos where people get out of there in second. And look, maybe as the tires wear out, it's probably better to be in second coming out of there, but it's definitely faster for me personally coming out of there in first. As we approach now, we're still in the stadium section. Very tricky part of the lap. Very important, very technical, and especially with traffic, it's going to be really interesting this year, especially with the weather, with the rain coming up as well. So as we approach this corner, what you want to do is, again, you want to brake in a straight line, but then as you switch into second gear, you want to start to get the rotation to go. Still trail brake right up until this particular moment, and then accelerate hard out of the corner, straight line it. It's a very particular part of the lap, but very technical, and you can really lose a lot of time in that particular section. As we approach this corner, just before the yellow curb, you want to start to brake, put it into second, get that rotation going. This is one of the key things that we found with this setup and the way that we've been working on it. It's getting some amazing drive now coming out of this corner. Really fast and aggressive into the entry. Trust the car. In the fast laps, you'll be able to notice that the aggression and just the level of commitment that it takes, to get a really fast lap around this particular track. Keep in mind that as we are now almost, less than a week away from the Daytona 24, fast laps are great, but consistency and working on your race strategy as a team, working on how you're gonna, handle the different weather conditions that are going to be coming, lap traffic, all of those factors, right? I mean, it is 24 hours of continuous racing. So don't just focus on being fast for one lap. Focus on your consistency and being able to hit it every single time. As we approach the bus stop, just before the 100 meter, I start to brake, go into fourth. Again, because of the way that we've worked on the setup, it's so strong now, the car, in this particular section of the lap. Make sure that you don't get an off track. Push the limits, push the boundaries. But again, in a 24-hour race, make sure that you're not overstretching yourself. Now, this particular lap was a 1:43.8. The next lap is the one where we take things to another level. And so the extra commitment that came during this particular lap, the extra commitment in regards to just, going just a little bit further, right? Just brake just a little bit later. Tip it in even more aggressive, it just really got pulled off as a really fantastic lap, even without the toe at the end, which you'll see. Even without that, it would have still been at 43.5, which again, for these weather conditions that we were in at the moment in this particular session, at the track temp, we are super happy with the level of just where we're at the moment with this particular car. I hope that the BOP doesn't change too much and the Porsche becomes not competitive, but so far we are very happy. Now, the other step to take turn one is obviously you're coming in from the inside, step out onto the outside, straight line again, heading towards the white lines. Use the white lines You can actually, some people go even further than I have right now, but we just got so much confidence at the moment on the front end of the car that we're able to make the corners a little bit tighter, straight line through here. Already through this particular section of the lap, already we were up at 10th compared to the previous lap. And so, again, focus on your traction coming out of the corners, focus on being very aggressive with the vehicle. As we go into turn 2 now, again, as you can see, like there's not a lot of rotation until you get right to that point here. Straight line now, hard on the gas to maximize that drive coming out of this corner. It's actually really, really interesting how much you can lose between just this section if you don't get that right. Often GTP cars will be coming up to overtake you at turn 2. Let them. Do not compromise your exit out of that corner. You lose more by doing that than actually letting them go before turn 2, get a good exit out of there. Now, as we approach this section, what I found really, really helpful here is that you can see still straight line, but then as soon as I go into second gear, really tight next to the curb, get that rotation going, and very, very early on the gas. So the lap already from here, the delta was already really, really, really strong. As we approach now this particular section, I wanted to add this lap, and I wanted to make sure that you guys saw it as well, because during a 24-hour race, you're going to come across this. You are approaching either a car that you want to overtake or a lapped GT3, whatever the case may be. And so it's really, really important to time it perfectly. You know, you don't want to get stuck. And it's very easy to do, because if you ruin your exit out of the bus stop because you're just behind a slow car and it's just too much, it can heavily compromise. You know, we're talking about almost half a second to 7/10 lost if you're stuck behind the car at the bus stop. So you want to time it just right. You want to focus on getting a good exit out of that bus stop chicane and really, really work that slipstream from the car in front of you and then overtaking. So very, very important in this particular section. Now, when you watch the fast laps, as you're about to in a few moments, pay attention to that. Pay attention to the revs. Pay attention to how the steering is being used. And more importantly, pay attention to the lines that are being used and why those particular lines are being used as well. Especially coming through here. You can see the main difference between the car ahead of us. Look at the level of commitment from them, but also the speed that they're taking into that corner and just how much we've been able to gain. And they got an off track. So not only did they not maximize the possibilities of the corner speed into that bus stop, but also they got a 1x for that as well. So again, pay close attention to details. It is going to be 24 hours next week. It's going to be absolutely epic to once again be a part of it. We were very fortunate last year, the 7 p.m. top split session. We won the Daytona 24. Some wonderful memories from that particular day. And so we can't wait to experience it all again. Can we go back to back? Oh, there's a lot of things that have to go right over the course of 24 hours to win a race like this, but we are going to give it our absolute best. I can't wait. It's one of my favorite endurance events of the season. I hope this video has helped, this guide. Let's now go and dive into the 2 fast laps at full speed. Let's go!